buying the daily vitamin C with 7% lactic acid from Amlactin or one of the other lactic acid products from Amlactin. Let me start the video by actually disclosing the ending. This is a good product, but I see no particular point in buying this one because one of the other Amlactin lactic acid products can better suit you. But do continue watching this video because by the end of the video you will know which of the other lactic acid products you should be buying from Amlactin and why. I will have timestamps for the video in the description box below, so if you want to skip to a specific section of the video, please feel free to do so. This is an exfoliating body lotion. It exfoliates gently using an ingredient called lactic acid, but if you look at the ingredient list, and that goes for all the Amlactin lactic acid products, you won't find any lactic acid in there because it uses 3 derivatives of lactic acid, which is ammonium lactate, potassium lactate and sodium lactate, and these 3 ingredients together, based on the amounts that they have been used in this product, equate to 7% lactic acid. Lactic acid is a very gentle exfoliator, gentle yet effective exfoliator. What happens is old cells from skin surface have to fall off regularly on their own and make way for the younger and the newer cells. But often some of these old cells don't fall off. They all accumulate together, make a thick layer and lead to a very dry and an irritated skin. And that's why we need a third party to come in regularly and get rid of these old cells. Otherwise, it will lead to a lot of skin concerns. Now, these old cells all form long chains. The bonds between these old cells is really strong and they hold on to each other very tightly and form a thick layer which leads to dry, dehydrated and flaky skin. Lactic acid gently goes and targets the bonds. It goes and targets the strength between these 2 cells, and by breaking the bonds, it breaks the chains, and once the chains are broken, these cells fall off easily. Lactic acid, apart from exfoliating the skin, also adds hydration to the skin, and it can strengthen the skin's barrier function. A strong skin barrier function means a hydrated skin and a skin with less breakouts. For lactic acid to perform all these functions effectively, you need at least 5% lactic acid to 10% lactic acid or higher. This one has 7%. Amlactin does have 2 other skincare products which is called 12% lactic acid and 15% lactic acid. So they definitely are going to be much more effective than the 7% lactic acid. So which one should you buy? Because though the other 2 offer more benefits, they can also not suit you if your skin is a bit sensitive. So which one should you buy? A quick disclaimer, these are recommendations based on my experience and my research. If your skin is sensitive and if your skin in the body feels flaky, dehydrated and dry, then consider the 5% Amlactin lactic acid product. Yes, it's not going to be as effective as the 12 and the 15%, but if your skin is sensitive, that's probably what your skin can take. It will work, but it just will work a bit slowly. If you've got sensitive skin but no visible flakiness on the skin feels normal, then again go for the 5% lactic acid product from Amlactin, but just don't use it every day because it is at the end of the day an exfoliating product. So use a regular body lotion maybe 2 to 3 times a week, and then on the other days use this Amlactin 5% lactic acid if you've got sensitive skin. If you've got sensitive skin and keratosis pilaris, then I'm not in a place to recommend a product for you from Amlactin. The best thing would be to visit a doctor because a 5% lactic acid won't be effective in getting rid of that keratosis pilaris. If you've got dry skin and keratosis pilaris, go for the 15% lactic acid and use it as per the instructions in that bottle. If you don't have keratosis pilaris, you've got dry skin, your skin feels dry and flaky, or your skin doesn't feel dry and flaky, but your skin in general is dry, just go for the 12% lactic acid because that one has another powerful ingredient called mineral oil, which does a really effective job in retaining all the hydration in your skin, and dry skin needs that. Correcting a mistake which I realized while I was editing the video, if your skin feels dry, dehydrated and flaky, you can also use Amlactin 15%. That is also very good and has got mineral oil which can help retain the hydration. If there is no flakiness on the skin and it doesn't feel very dry and dehydrated, don't use the 12% lactic acid every day. Use it 3 times a week, and then on the other days use a regular body lotion which doesn't have exfoliating ingredients in it. For all the other skin types, if you've got keratosis pilaris, go for the 15% lactic acid. If your skin just has that bumpiness and feels flaky and dehydrated, go for the 12% lactic acid. And everything is tip-top condition in your skin and you need something just for daily maintenance, just go for the 5% Amlactin lactic acid. So you see, I don't have a spot for the 7% lactic acid. You might ask, why can't I just use the 7% lactic acid instead of the 5% lactic acid Amlactin product? That's because you see the 5% Amlactin product, which is mainly used for the daily maintenance in all these cases, it's got something called ceramides, and ceramides are really powerful in strengthening the skin's barrier function. Strong skin barrier, like I mentioned previously, keeps the skin hydrated and prevents breakouts on the skin. The 7% does have a slightly higher amount of lactic acid than the 5%, but in my books, that's not a big enough difference. I might as well go with the 5% one, which has got ceramides, and it also has vitamin E, which is going to give a nice brightening effect on the skin. So if I'm looking for something for daily maintenance, I will go for the 5% Amlactin product. But wait, you might say the 7% has vitamin C. That's very good for the skin, right? Yes, it is, but the vitamin C derivative, it doesn't use the pure form of vitamin C. It uses a derivative, 𝗏 ascorbyl phosphate, and that too in a very small quantity. So that's not too amazing. So yeah, it uses vitamin C in the label, but that shouldn't be the selling factor in the product. And this is the thing, this 7% lactic acid from Amlactin is a good product. It is no way a bad product. But you see, with Amlactin, there are too many good products. So I will have to pick one, and that's what makes me pick the 5% over the 7%. So that's the reason. It's a good product, but I would have to give it a miss only because there are better ones from Amlactin. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and do subscribe to my channel. That will really help me a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.